Hello, all you crypto adventurers and specifically EOS lovers. Today we're going to talk about a lot of things, all EOS related. We've got everything from how to easily track Dan on Telegram, a new block explorer, the stress test results of August 8th, an update to the EOS lost private key situation, some information on a $100 EOS party in San Diego, Everipedia is now live on EOS, and a new Ledger Nano S implementation. So without further ado, I bring you EOS Mega Update Volume 8. Many of you probably like to follow Dan Larimer's Telegram messages or anything that he puts out there because you just want to stay up to date on the latest things and the things that are going on in the mind of the creator of EOS. And it's really tricky to do so on the platform of Telegram, which just so happens to be the platform that Dan really likes to make posts. And it's tricky because if you've ever used Telegram, for whatever reason, their search function could stand some improvement. If you type in word Dan or the name, you search for the username Dan, you don't always find him. Or I've had to scroll back and load many days of history before it will even show any of Dan's posts. And so one of the BPs actually shared this link with me, which makes it really easy to stay on top of posts that Dan makes anywhere in Telegram. It is a Telegram group, EOS Project. So at EOS Project is the Telegram group. Looks like there's 2,600 members, and the name of it is EOS-Dan Message Only. And when you go into it, it looks like this. And this is what you'll see. You'll just see copies of messages that Dan has typed in Telegram, and that's all you'll see. So it'll be out of context, but if you really want to know what he's talking about, you could go look it up. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that's very helpful for staying on top of it, not having to go into the whole search function every single time you want to look at something Dan typed. This just keeps you on top of things in case he drops some major bomb, which he frequently does on Telegram. Okay, and next up we have a cool new blockchain explorer. I just stumbled upon this. It's blocks.io, BLOKS.io, and I just like the feel of it. It just feels very smooth, very modernized, and very real-time and responsive. You can see the blocks moving up right here. You got the EOS price, the market cap, the current producer, and the price of RAM per kilobyte. So, and down below you have all the block producers, the top 21 and the next 50 block producers below that. And so just for fun, let's check out, I actually created an account. It's Colin T Crypto. That's my EOS account name. So if you guys want to send me any, little donations, feel free to, that's where it's at. And, it's just my personal Colin Talks Crypto EOS account name. Currently you'll see I have 1.1 EOS. I know, a big baller right there. And I played around with some Space Invaders. What did I do here? I voted, there's not a lot of EOS on it, but I just played around with it. So anyways, this is just a shout out to blocks.io for making a very cool, very smooth blockchain explorer. Highly recommend it. Okay, and on to the next thing. As you remember, Thomas Cox, formerly of block.one, had announced a stress test on August 8th at 8 a.m. UTC for everyone to, spam the EOS blockchain with as many transactions as possible for the purpose of stress testing it and to get the all-time number of transactions per second to the biggest number we've ever seen. So I'm going to report on that, and unfortunately it didn't move. It did not go any higher, so we didn't reach a new all-time high. We are still at 3,708 transactions per second as the all-time highest number that EOS has currently reached. So a little disappointing. I saw a lot of people out there playing Space Invaders and contributing to that movement, trying to get that TPS, that transactions per second, to a new all-time high. Unfortunately, it didn't move. But, I'm not too worried about it. At the rate of development of EOS and the rate of adoption, almost every time I do a video, this is at a new high. So I would not be surprised if in a couple weeks we see this break 5,000 transactions per second. So everyone just keep using EOS, and with natural adoption, it's going to get higher and higher. And you know what? In a couple years, we're going to look back and this is going to look like nothing. We're going to see a number here that's probably in the 6 digits, hundreds of thousands, when we have parallelization and side chains all activated on EOS. Okay, and now for a little news update on the subject of EOS lost private keys. I've made a few videos on this before in regards to a friend of mine who had lost their EOS private key after the EOS mainnet launch, and it had just about 15,000 EOS in it. And so I actually got a response to a claim I had filed with ECAF several months ago, and they finally got around to responding. And I wanted to share this because to me, this is a very optimistic response. And so I'm going to read it to you. It says, "Hello, this is an update on your case, which is related to resolving an issue with your private keys. We are currently waiting for the block producers to roll out the sudo feature, which is a Linux command, which is like a super user permission command for granting account permissions. So waiting for the block producers to roll out the sudo feature that will allow them to modify account permissions. This will allow them to change an account's private keys. Once the BP signal that the sudo feature is ready, processing of private key cases will proceed on a first in, first out basis." That to me is a very strong statement. They're not saying like, we're not sure if this is going to happen. They're saying it's in the pipelines, and when it rolls out, we're going to do it on a first come, first served basis. So that's the best news I've heard in the past couple of months on this topic. Lastly, they say the next update you receive will be when we have received block producer confirmation that the sudo feature has been deployed on the EOS mainnet, and that's signed the ECAF admin. So guys, we are just waiting for this to be rolled out on the EOS mainnet as an active feature that block producers can use to help certain individuals who obviously can fully prove, cryptographically that they own EOS tokens. In this case, it would be using your Ethereum key, and I'm sure there's going to be some smart contract written where you can do so. So good news on the horizon. I do not have a timeline or estimate of when this will be rolled out, but I think that if you're like me and my friend, you'll be more than happy just to get those tokens back, no matter how long it takes. Having them back would just be really a first in blockchains, because we're not going to have to roll the blockchain back. We're not going to have to freeze the blockchain. We're not going to have to hard fork, none of that. We're going to be able to resolve individual user accounts with this sudo feature and give them back their rightfully owned tokens, and everyone else is unaffected. And so it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And I will definitely keep you guys updated. As soon as I hear a final word on this, don't worry, you will be first to know. And there is an EOS YouTuber by the name of Kent. He is from EOS San Diego, giving him a shout out. This is his YouTube channel. I recommend you subscribe. I can tell he's a very heartfelt and sincere EOS follower, and he really has a passion for it. And what he is proposing is that he is going to host a party, a $100 EOS party at the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, obviously when the price of EOS reaches $100 per EOS. And so I'm not sure when that's going to happen. That might be later this year. I think it'll be in 2019 is my guess. And so this is a picture of this hotel. It's a very luxurious, fancy resort, 5-star, beautiful. And so it's really kind of him to host this. And I think it would be a lot of fun because we're going to meet a lot of the prominent EOS figures. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll even see Dan appear here, Brendan Bloomer. Maybe the block.one team will make an appearance. That would be very exciting. I'm just putting that out there. That is not for sure at all. And so I'm going to plan on being here because I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I get to meet face to face with a lot of you guys who have been so passionate about this project that I am also so passionate in. So let's get that price to $100 per EOS so we can all go here. And I think that by the time the price hits $100, we'll all be able to easily afford time off and a plane ticket to go to this awesome retreat. Okay, and now we have a tweet from CoinDesk that just announced Wikipedia competitor Everipedia's blockchain is now live. And this article here says, the blockchain-based Wikipedia competitor announced the launch on Thursday, allowing users to earn its IQ tokens for adding or editing articles to the platform. These tokens, in turn, will let users participate and vote on network governance issues. So these are those IQ tokens that we all were given if we owned some EOS at the mainnet launch. And so very exciting. It's actually live. You can now create articles. Now it's on a test version right now. They actually have two websites. They have a main website that is going to be the final Everipedia website, and they have sort of a beta test site right now. And so right now it's not fully active to the public, but you can use it. It's on an invite-only basis. And if you go to the Everipedia Telegram group, here are the instructions from their Telegram group on how to become a submitter and test out their platform before it's fully launched to the public with all bugs ironed out. So it says, if you would like an invite to experiment with Everipedia.org, please message this name or this name with the following information. 1, your email address, and 2, the first page you'd like to create on the site. We can give you some ideas if you aren't sure, but think of something that you know is not on Wikipedia. And so I messaged these guys. They got back to me that same day, and I provided them the info they needed, and they were more than happy to include me in this testing. And so when I get that email with access, I think I'm going to create a Colin Talks Crypto Everipedia page as my first page and just test out the features, see how it goes. It may not be bug-free or perfect, and then I can make a video showing you guys my experience with that. And so I recommend you guys also follow this, and let's get some content up on Everipedia. And lastly, but far from least, we have a second Ledger Nano S implementation, and this one actually looks even more complete than the last one. This one has a whole interface and application, and I'm going to play a little bit of this video. This is by Alt-Shift-Dev, and the previous implementation was by Crypto Fairy. So there are two that are in competition now, and they've both been submitted to Ledger, and the one that gets picked and approved will be the one that gets awarded the $50,000 from Cypherglass. And so a big thanks again to Cypherglass for encouraging this, because I don't think it would have happened without that incentivization. So here's the video from Alt-Shift-Dev. It's silent, so you just get to watch. So you'll notice right now he's sending a transaction from Alt-Shift-Dev 1 account to Alt-Shift-Dev B account. And this is on the testnet, so he doesn't really have 11,000 EOS. And so he's sending 10.0005 EOS, a unique number so that you can actually track that it got sent. And he's making a note, a memo, along with the transaction. And the note says, sent with my Ledger Nano S. So he clicked to validate it, and he's choosing the ledger. The Trezor is not supported yet. This is only for Ledger Nano S. And a cool little graphic. So he's right now connecting his Ledger Nano S. He's pressing the buttons on the device, and he's clicking continue. And so he's sending that transaction. And when he clicks the button on it, it's waiting for approval. And here's the signed transaction. So this is like the behind the scenes code of what happened behind the scenes. And so he's clicking confirm and send, and the transaction succeeded. And it was that simple. So this is like their own application. It's not using the Ledger Nano S application. Oh, he's going to prove that he sent this. So he's going to the Jungle testnet and clicking on his account, and you can see that he got the 10.0005 EOS, which is right here. He's highlighting it. I'll put the link to this video in the description so you can watch the whole thing if you want. It's 4 minutes long, but let's back up a second here. So the cool thing about this, and he demonstrates this later, is that because EOS has many trade features built into it, many markets built into it, for example, the RAM trading, staking for CPU, bandwidth, etc. You got the RAM here, you've got the network here, the bandwidth, and the CPU. And you can buy and sell and stake and unstake all within this application, in addition to being able to send and receive EOS. So it's a fully featured application for sending, receiving, trading, buying, all that on your Ledger Nano S hardware device using EOS. So I'm very excited about this. And I actually reached out to the developers, Alt-Shift-Dev, and I asked them about it. And they said that it's going to be open sourced once the contest is over. Because my concern was, well, how safe is this program? I mean, we are dealing with money here. We're going to be putting potentially large amounts of money on that hardware wallet. And so the last thing we want is for it to be insecure. And they've assured me that it's going to be open sourced. If they win, they'll open source their software, and people who understand the code can look through it and make sure it's safe. And I think Ledger Nano S themselves will be making sure that it's safe as well. So really awesome news, really excited about this. I think that within the next few months, we're going to be able to use Ledger Nano S with our EOS. That is all I have for you today. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Stay tuned for another EOS Mega update. Next up will be volume number 9. And if you liked this video, and if you found that it increased your knowledge or understanding, or it helped you in any way whatsoever, please like it, please subscribe, and please share with your friends. It really means a lot. Thanks, and have a great day.